This also opens the door for a lot of other characters to actually have their own shows. I finally can get the show of all the female characters who are the love interests having a sitcom together. 6 to 8 episodes, live studio audience. You get Pepper Potts in there.
Oh yeah, you
get Liv Tyler,
Linda Carter,
Betty Ross. Yeah.
Why not throw Peggy Carter in there?
Peggy Carter. Yeah. No, you could get a Falcon show.
You could get a Falcon show. You could get a Rhodey show. You could get a Falcon and Rhodey show.
They're the black sidekicks, and now they could lead their own show.
Yeah, you can get Jaimon Hansu in there too.
You could have a show with a collector. Just collect. You could do it like one of those like History Channel documentary series likes where he's just talking to the camera, presenting items. Or you could do the Heimdall show. Idris Elba could finally stop complaining. What I'm hoping for is Marvel is going to watch this video and go, we need to hire these guys.
Groot gardening show.
Groot gardening show.
You know?
Hey Reject Nation, it's Greg Alba here.
Jonold.
So before I went to sleep last night, or before I struggled to go to sleep last night, I came across this news story, primarily because John Bailey messaged me about it, and I was like, what? Is that real? And then sure enough, it was on every news site. Per Variety, Disney is launching a standalone Loki SCARLET Witch shows on streaming service with original actors, which sounds neat.
Sounds like an interesting new step for those people who have movie careers.
What they want to do is do these standalone limited series for characters from the MCU. Do like their separate shows for basically for characters who didn't have an opportunity to have their own standalone movie yet, or didn't get enough screen time, or whatever. I'm not sure the decision making that's going into these things. And of course, none of this has really been confirmed by Marvel or Disney just yet. Just because it comes from a reputable magazine source like Variety doesn't exactly mean it's 100% true. A big part of what this report is saying that I found really interesting, because I'm aware that Kevin Feige is not really involved in the TV shows, especially the Netflix Marvel ones. He had a lot of creative differences with the entertainment CEO, whose name I have written down here, Ike Perlmutter. What a weird last name.
German.
Yeah, anytime I hear a German name.
Perlmutter.
Weird. I'm American, I don't like that.
Understand all your syllables, man.
Yeah. What reports have always said is like they've always had creative differences, they don't get along or whatever. I don't really know that behind the scenes, obviously. Bottom line, Kevin Feige has never really been involved with those shows. Hence why you never hear the MCU ever really acknowledge those events in the Defenders, or I don't even know if they really acknowledge the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff.
But the shows acknowledge the heck out of the movie.
The incident.
The big green guy.
So go after the big green guy, the flag waver. I wasn't even there.
A big part of this story is Kevin Feige would be really involved with these specific shows, which I am very much drawn to because, hey, it's freaking Kevin Feige. Also, they want to make them only 6 to 8 episodes, which is a very common complaint with the Netflix Marvel shows, is how they tend to have too many episodes. I know Iron Fist recently shortened it down to 10 episodes. They still have a certain track record of doing a certain amount. Also, as weird as this idea might sound, because, you know, people like Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen, because they're expecting these actors to reprise their roles, as weird as that might sound, I think that's really cool. I personally think that's a neat idea. Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen, they're very famous people, but this idea stems from supporting characters who haven't had their own movies and now getting their own shows. I think that is pretty neat, because these guys are probably never going to get their own standalone movies.
No, it's coming. It's coming down the pike. Scarlet Witch, here we go.
To get an opportunity to do a 6 to 8 episode series dedicated to that.
Better than a movie.
It's in a lot of ways, yeah, because you get the character exploration of it. I finally saw the movie Wind River, which made me fall in love with the actress that is Elizabeth Olsen. So the idea of her having her own like 6 to 8 episode Scarlet Witch show, I'm like, well, now we get the chance to see her work that acting skills that I don't really feel is truly represented in the film she's been in.
And get to see more of her, you know, awesome power, because that was one thing that I took away from all the discussions about Infinity War, is just how strong and powerful Scarlet Witch is, and just
it's not utilized.
How much has not been used and how long it's taken to get to what we did see.
I don't know if this report means Loki's still alive. If this is a confirmed, does that mean Loki's still alive?
That's what there was a lot of argument about on Twitter I saw yesterday, was people going like, well, great, this is kind of ruining all the stuff that you just did with Infinity War, but, you know, it could also be a prequel, you never know, or something earlier on the timeline.
I hate to watch a prequel.
Loki.
What's the prequel?
The new adventures of young Loki.
Everything was already explained in the Thor movie.
Yeah, well, or just, you know, at a different point in the timeline before he's dead. Not necessarily a prequel origin story.
This also opens the door for a lot of other characters to actually have their own shows, which I'm definitely not opposed to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I finally can get the show of all the female characters who are the love interests having a sitcom together. 6 to 8 episodes, live studio audience. You get Pepper Potts in there.
Oh yeah, you get
Liv Tyler,
Linda Cardellini.
Betty Ross. Yeah.
Why not throw Peggy Carter in there?
Peggy Carter. Yeah. You could get the Hawkeye family drama show.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You know,
I want Breaking Bad, but with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Where like he decides to join S.H.I.E.L.D. and we go from that angle. You know? He's got some kind of terminal illness. It's gonna be great.
You could get a Falcon show.
You could get a Falcon show. You could get a Rhodey show. You could get a Falcon and Rhodey show.
They're the black sidekicks, and now they could lead their own show.
Yeah, it would be great.
How cool would that be?
You can get Jaimon Hansu in there too.
Yeah.
As their like wacky interplanetary neighbor.
Might as well do it.
Every time he flies in on a spaceship, the crowd goes wild.
The ideas are limitless here.
Yeah, man. Think of it. Infinity War had like 75 heroes in, or 65 heroes or something, and nobody got a ton of screen time. Plus, think of all the characters that haven't made it to the screen yet.
Oh god, that's too many.
It's too many Marvels, man.
It's too many Marvels. You could have a show with a collector. Just
collect.
You could do it like one of those like History Channel documentary series likes where he's just talking to the camera, presenting items.
That's not bad.
You could get the Daryl show.
The Daryl show. Yeah. I would love the Daryl show.
I would be so down for the Daryl show, and I think Chris Hemsworth wouldn't be opposed to cameoing.
Dude, he would probably actually be down for that, especially you know if these miniseries are in house and all that stuff. It'd probably be pretty easy to shoot an extra scene here.
If you continue the Daryl show, you can keep Jeff Goldblum in there as the Grand Master, kicking it with Daryl on Earth.
Yeah, and then like he can play jazz and stuff like that. You can get like a variety show in your Marvel universe.
What I'm hoping for is Marvel is going to watch this video and go, we need to hire these guys.
Yeah.
Because they know what the audience wants.
Mm-hmm. Groot gardening show.
Groot gardening show.
You know? Be awesome, right?
No one's dead.
You can do some kind of nature doc with Black Panther. You know, do some kind of like life of life.
You can really mix up the style. You know, a lot of people always complain about the MCU having sometimes they seem kind of similar in their palettes and everything. Now you can really genre splice here with genres people want to see the movies in.
Yeah, man, totally. See, that's the thing. I feel like my collector show would be kind of like the Friday the 13th TV series where like he gives like some interplanetary traveler an item, but the item's like cursed and stuff, and then like it's like a kind of like a Tales from the Crypt where every episode's different, and they're all kind of whimsical and macabre.
You can get the E-Tree show,
dude. The door
where he's just chilling. It's a really isolated show, and he's just really depressed.
No, his show he's depressed, but he's also selling like limited edition like sword replicas and things like that. It's like a QVC kind of thing. You get the Wong show where it's like a book club.
Our shows are like 10-minute episodes.
Hey, I mean, you could do a fitness show with the Dora Milaje.
That'd be nice.
Because like everybody nowadays is like into Krav Maga and stuff like that. Get your Dora Milaje workout in.
Or you could do the Heimdall show. Idris Elba could finally stop complaining.
Yeah, it's
get
really
his character due.
No wire work on that show.
As much as I love to keep pitching these brilliant ideas,
don't steal them, Marvel.
I don't want the Netflix shows to leave, though. They're so different. They're just so much darker, and whenever some report comes out about these shows, a lot of times they start going back to the Netflix shows. The thing, though, is the Netflix shows have really established their own tone, their own style, and even though there's been a lackluster response to Luke Cage Season 2 and Jessica Jones Season 2, and even though Iron Fist Season 2 is a lot better of a response, it ain't exactly an amazing response.
I mean, I think the better response for that is still less lesser than the not good responses for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, so it cancels out.
But I still wouldn't want them to leave the Netflix territory, even though this Disney streaming service is obviously working towards competing with Netflix.
Well, the best way to compete is to compete with yourself.
Yeah, that's what to do. Is just have a plant inside there.
Yeah, because I mean, you're going to be competing with Hulu as well, and the Hulu Marvel shows also have their own tone.
Yeah.
So what my hope is that they can all kind of coexist. I mean, I know Disney is kind of a juggernaut that swallows everything eventually. So, you know, when Netflix becomes just another part of Disney, I'm sure they'll all go together. But from everything I've heard so far, the Netflix shows will stay there, and any other Marvel thing will go to the service.
Gotcha. You can finally get that Hulk show.
You know, that could actually work, because they act like we've done the Hulk on TV in the past, and they're always like, we can't do another Hulk movie, but maybe a series could actually be kind of cool.
I think Mark Ruffalo would be more than down
Definitely,
to move to a streaming
to go.
service.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Well, you never see. This is going to be an interesting experiment too, because it's a Disney Marvel kind of exclusive thing, and like even though everyone's got a streaming service now, I kind of feel like if anybody's poised to launch one and have it do incredibly well, it's Disney Marvel.
I mean, I gotta tell you, if this is real, if this is really what's gonna go down, I'm sold.
This could change things.
I will buy the Disney streaming, like the DC streaming service is something I'd like to have. I do want to check out Titans, and
when you got spare money.
I also want to see the Batman animated series remastered.
Yeah,
and you know, I could also catch up on whatever else. This though, right here, makes me go, oh man, just that one. I would buy it just to watch one of those shows, just to see what it is.
Well, and this could potentially change the game, because at least what they're talking about sounds like a pretty high caliber of limited series here, and so we could see bigger potential for, you know, movie stars to come do these, you know, and have, you know, that caliber just in an independent platform.
What do you guys think? You gonna get this Disney streaming service if this is true, or were you already sold with the Lady and the Tramp thing they're doing?
What?
John, do your research.
Of course.
I did just enough research to know there's a Lady in the Tramp thing, but I don't.
But not enough to know what that thing is called.
Or what it is exactly. And before we close out this video, I wanted to give a special shout out to a man named JT, the man from Hawaii. JT, we haven't talked in a while, buddy. You know, sometimes we talk on messages on Patreon, sometimes we talk on Twitter. I just want to say, man, lately my creative juices have been flowing, and I miss you, bud. We need to start talking to each other again, even if it's a private phone call where I call you with a no caller ID, but you still give me your number. I know it's kind of messed up to, you know, not go both ways. I'm like, only I have your number, but you don't have mine. But that's just the way I am, because I'm very, you know, self-centered like that. Yeah. I think I'm more important than everyone else.
I would call you from a payphone.
That is worth it if you supply the quarters.
Yes. You come call and collect. You want to pick up those charges.
I love you, JT. Sorry you didn't really enjoy The Predator, but most people didn't. Oh.
What?
Hit a mark here. You can subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell. And check us on Patreon. We got TV show reactions, Q&As, a whole bunch of goodies. Would love to have me become a patron eject to my own Patreon today.